Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and today we're talking about the travesty that is 30th Anniversary Edition. If you need some real Magic cards, you can get them from our awesome sponsor Card Kingdom over at cardkingdom.com/MTGGoldfish. So one of the biggest problems in the Magic community is a reserve list. If you're not familiar with the reserve list, it's a promise Wizards made 30 years ago almost at this point that they wouldn't reprint certain cards like ever. And they have held to this promise for 25 years or however long it's been since they made the promise after Chronicles in the early 90s. And this has led to some issues. The cards that Wizards has promised not to reprint, especially the good ones, have gotten ridiculously expensive. If you need like original dual lands for your commander decks, you're going to spend hundreds of dollars, like $800 for an Underground Sea or Volcanic Island, $500 for Tundras or Tropical Islands. These cards are ridiculous, and that doesn't even include getting actual Power 9. If you want a Black Lotus or some Moxen, you're going to spend thousands of dollars, and I know maybe you can get cheaper copies if you find damaged ones or whatever, but those are just the prices that are listed on TCG Player. So regardless, these cards cost a ridiculous amount of money. So today, Wizards had a big announcement, and they announced something that was incredibly exciting, something that I've been waiting for a long time to potentially get around the reserve list, which is printing non-tournament legal versions of reserve list cards. The reserve list only applies to tournament legal cards, and you're probably wondering, well, why would you want not tournament legal versions? And that's because you can play those cards in Commander, you can play them in casual games, you can play them in proxy events. So today, Wizards announced that they were going to be printing Magic the Gathering 30th Anniversary Edition, which is a whole bunch of alpha reprints with a new back, a Black Lotus back. So they're not tournament legal, but this is going to give us a bunch more dual lands and Power 9, these cards that are prohibitively expensive that you just really can't play with unless you're going to do something a little bit questionable, like buy a counterfeit, which you should not do. You don't want to support counterfeiters, they are bad for the game. But if you want a realistic version of these cards with the real art, there's just not a way to get them. It's either do something that you shouldn't do, which is supporting counterfeiters, or spend hundreds or thousands of dollars depending on the card. So Wizards announced they're releasing 30th Anniversary Edition, which is gonna have all these alpha cards, Black Lotuses and Shivan Dragons and Llanowar Elves and the Moxen and the original dual lands, everything that you could possibly want. If you're someone who has been trying to build optimal commander decks but not being able to afford the dual lands, this is the product that would solve that. And this is one of the easiest ways around the reserve list. Yeah, maybe you can't print real versions because of the reserve list, but you can print these fake versions, these not tournament legal versions, just like the gold bordered World Championship decks or collector's edition back in the day. So when I first saw this, I was incredibly excited. This is a huge deal as official proxies coming from Wizards, helping support a format like Commander, giving players access to real versions of these cards, even if they're not tournament legal. Then Wizards announced the price, and the price of this is, it's a travesty. It's mind-blowing. It is disrespectful. It is $1,000, $999 for 4 booster packs of not tournament legal cards. Your cards are not tournament legal. You cannot play them in a tournament. You can't go to Legacy or Vintage or Modern or whatever and play these cards. They're not allowed to be played, but Wizards is charging $250 a pack, and my hype level just completely died.
You raised my hopes and dashed them quite expertly, sir. Bravo!
This is absolutely ridiculous. Wizards stumbled upon the solution, or a solution. Obviously, the best solution to the reserve list is just taking and reprinting the cards, getting rid of the reserve list, printing real versions in master sets or whatever, in standard sets, just getting rid of it that way. But if they can't or won't do that, this is probably the next best thing they can do. Give us official proxies so players aren't tempted to buy counterfeits and use those as proxies. But Wizards did it in the most Wizardsy, money-grabby, absurd way. So now this product is just kind of a Magic finance circle jerk. Like, who's gonna spend $250 on a randomized booster pack that could give you a not tournament legal Black Lotus, and who's going to want to pay secondary market prices for these cards? These Black Lotuses and dual lands are still going to cost hundreds of dollars, I think, most likely, considering how much these booster packs cost. Who wants to spend a couple $100 for a not legal volcanic island when you can save up and spend, you know, $800 and get a real one that actually can be played in tournaments? I don't think many players are going to jump at that, especially when the other option is to get some sort of maybe sketchy but unofficial proxy to play with. There's really no purpose for this product at this price. It's not going to help players. Sure, I'm sure it'll sell out, and finance types and speculators are going to buy them and they'll go up in price, but that's not the issue with the reserve list. The issue with the reserve list is players who want to play your game can't get the cards they need to play your game, and this product would have been a perfect way to help solve that. And Wizards just managed to muck it up in the most absurd way possible. And maybe the worst part about all this is supposed to be a 30-year of Magic celebration. It feels like to celebrate 30 years of Magic and 30 years of the community supporting the game and supporting Wizards, that Wizards is celebrating by spitting in our faces or beating us with a pool cue until all the change falls out of our pocket.
Fry, I'm an 80s guy. Friendship to me means that for $2 I beat you with a pool cue till you got detached retinas.
It's like, this is not how you celebrate an anniversary. Like, imagine if you did this with your partner or your significant other or whatever. That would be the end of your relationship. If you just took and to celebrate your 30th anniversary, they like ripped $1,000 out of your pocket for nothing. That's what Wizards is doing now. So I don't know what they're thinking here. I know what they're thinking. They're thinking, we're going to make a huge pile of money, but this is just such a horrible, horrible product. And I know it's going to sell out. Finance people are going to buy it. It'll probably be worth twice as much 3 years from now or whatever, but that's not what the problem with the reserve list is. The problem with the reserve list isn't, oh, these poor financiers and collectors aren't making enough money. They've already benefited a ton from the reserve list. The reserve list is a problem for players who actually want to use your cards as game pieces, and Wizards found the perfect way to get around the reserve list and give players the cards they need, but then managed to muck it up with their absurd pricing. So I don't know. Let me know what you think about this product. I don't think there's ever been a Magic product that I went from so hyped for to so disappointed in like 30 seconds time, just from Wizards announcing the price of the product. So I don't know. Am I missing something about this product? Is there a reason to actually buy the 30th anniversary edition outside of expecting it to go up in value long term, like doing the speculation thing and playing the finance game? I can see that being a legit reason to buy, and I fully expect the product will sell out, and I fully expect it'll go up in value, and there are people will be trading back and forth $500 not tournament legal Black Lotuses or whatever in a few years. But outside of that, is there any point to this? Like, what do you think of this product? What do you think of the pricing of the product? Let me know. Anyway, that is 30th anniversary edition Wizards. I don't know what you're thinking. That's been our video for today. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will talk to you soon. Want even more Magic? Well, make sure to check out the video where we count down 10 of the biggest cheaters in Magic the Gathering's history.